Well, hello everyone. My name is Chris Gibbons. I'm your instructor for HCA 425 Practical Skills for the Healthcare Manager. And welcome to the course. Really, we're in our second week already. So what I like to do is that first week I leave up that static course welcome page as everybody kind of filters into the course. But now you see a new page here. So this kind of news area. And that will be our home page for the remainder of the course. So as soon as you click on your Canvas card and you come into the course, this will be the first page that you'll see. What I would like you to do is to look for any videos or announcements that I'll place here. I like using this as kind of a video blog and announcement portal versus the kind of the announcement feature that kind of goes across the top of the screen. This way it's right in front of you. The other important reason why to review these videos is often we make changes to courses as the course goes along. Every group of students is unique. Everything's different. And, this summer, in 2025, we could have changes in the course. I'm going to talk about those changes in these videos. And if we do a change, it's always to your benefit. So, definitely take a few moments, see if I've got anything posted. I do try to shoot these weekly, so anticipate at least a weekly video blog, anywhere from about 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes 5. And if it's a short little blurb that I just need to get out to you, there might be like a little text message inside here. All right, so enough about this new area and who I am and this course. I think you'll find this course. I hope you find it very beneficial because it's really meant to be hands-on, essential 101 skills that folks would need as an entry-level manager or even an experienced manager. If you are an experienced manager, it's great to review these concepts or even pick up new perspectives on these. I have had numerous folks go through this class who have been experienced managers and they've kept the textbook. I normally don't recommend keeping the textbook, but this may be a keeper. If you can, that kind of a nice reference for you that you can keep on the shelf when you're encountering some of these things and you're looking for some ideas. You can go back to the textbook. All right, so enough about the textbook. Our news and announcement page that we have here. Before I forget, also contacting me. So some of you have had me in previous classes, and you know that I give out my cell phone number. So right above here somewhere, you'll see my cell phone number for texting. If you have a short question or something kind of in a short format that we need to be aware of, feel free to text me. It's the quickest way to get a hold of me. The a little bit slower, but if it's a longer form situation, then use email. And then if we have to, we could even go to the other method where we can schedule maybe a Zoom or something of that nature. But usually we can get these things sorted out through text message or maybe email if something should come up. All right. As far as the course goes, I think you've seen the layout. It's pretty simple. I try not to overly complicate the course. You're going to have these weekly quizzes, really just to check that you had some retention on the chapter readings, that you've reviewed them. Of course, they're open book, open note. Feel free to do that. I just want to make sure that you're touching these concepts that are in the chapters, so that kind of seeps in a little bit. So we'll have that format, and then that weekly discussion typically we'll cap the week off, with that. Now, last week, we had our first discussion on management and leadership. I love that one. You guys did fantastic. If you did get some points off, read my feedback. It's usually because you didn't do the two required posts to the peer responses. That's the number one deduction on points, not doing those 2 peer responses. And when you do the peer responses, do make sure they're meaningful, not just, hey, great job. Try to offer something to that conversation in order to preserve, the full points. The other less typical, but what can also result in point deductions, of course, read your feedback, is maybe the post wasn't long enough. Now, most of you did a really great job. I think everybody did, great job in the main post. So, no worries there. So keep that up. Make sure you're meeting that minimum length, which I state in the assignment. All right, so there's that, and those are all graded for last week. Again, great job, and if you did get some points off, just check the feedback. Other than that, I want to touch base real quickly. Let me reduce my picture here. Again, as you saw the flow of the course, and that's going to be pretty standard, straightforward. I see some of you are going ahead. You can do that. You can work ahead. Just be careful. If you are working ahead, we will have, those discussions. Make sure you circle back on those discussions to do your 2 peer responses. We do have a progress journal assignment next week in lieu of our threaded discussion. It's pretty easy. You're just talking to me. Let me know how I'm doing, how you're doing. So that's not too bad. But I do want to talk to you about kind of the capstone project, the summative project for this course, and that's going to be a VoiceThread presentation. If you haven't used VoiceThread already, it's the college's it's our approved video capture for students. So it's basically how you would do, if you were to do an old school oral presentation, in a classroom, you stand up at the front of the class and do all of that. This is our way of capturing that presentation in video. So yeah, it's all right. It's pretty user friendly. We haven't had any issues in recent memory, but if you haven't used it, there is a little bit of a learning curve. So I would encourage you, as we get closer to the end of the course, especially in that module 6, is that you become familiar with it. Make sure your system requirements, everything is met there, that it works for you, rather than, and I'm guilty of this, but, it's due, it's Saturday, you sit down, and then you got to get it finished on Sunday. It's module 7, week 7, and you realize, oh, I've got technical issues. So try to reduce the stress and all of that by making sure that the VoiceThread works for you before that. And I'll remind you, but we're going to talk about that in module 6, so you're good there. But the VoiceThread is going to be basically, you're going to pick 6 chapters of the textbook that really resonate with you, and then you're going to highlight some of those key points that you feel are most important to you. So as you are going through the textbook, you may want to mark those chapters like, oh, I really love this one on human resources, or whatever that you might find valuable for you, so you can be ready to go when it's time to select those 6 most essential chapters that you like. All right, so that's a little bit about the course. You know how to get a hold of me. We've talked about that. Let me check my list here. Syllabus, of course. Hopefully you've printed that out. Again, but course is pretty straightforward. I try not to make it too complicated. If, though, I've made something too complicated and you don't understand, what I'm trying to communicate, don't hesitate to reach out. Again, text message is the best. All right, everybody have a great week, and I'll check in with you next week. Thanks.